Kia ora everyone. On the 20th of January, over 70 police officers, many armed with automatic weapons, raided the home of MegaUpload founder Kim.com. Among the police team were members of the Special Tactics Group, counter-terrorist personnel. They were there to arrest a man charged with copyright crimes, internet piracy effectively. The alleged value of those crimes is substantial. Some of the alleged victims, Hollywood in particular, regard MegaUpload with fury. But why were helicopters, dogs, special tactics personnel, armed defenders personnel, automatic weapons, pistols, sledgehammers and a circular saw required to arrest a man charged with computer offences? There was no one at the DotCom-Mansion with a history of or convictions for any form of violent offending. Tonight, in a TV exclusive, what happened that morning and why. Both sides of the story. Coming up, the Assistant Commissioner of Police joins us live, but first, the head of security for Kim.com. Wayne Tempero has worked for the Royal Family of Brunei, David Beckham, the Alingi Syndicate and many more. But on the 20th of January, he was at the DotCom-Mansion.
I was in bed, quarter to 7 in the morning, I think it was, and I heard this horrendous noise. And I knew it was a helicopter. So I quickly got dressed, I put some pants and a top on, run outside here. As I run outside, there was a white mist, because when the helicopter comes down anywhere here, the ground around us is a white gravel and it just goes up, and I could hear it pinging off all our cars like bullets. And a guy's running towards me in civilian clothing with a flak jacket on with an automatic weapon telling me, get down, get down, get down. And I comply.
It's very important I ask you some questions here.
Yes.
Did you run outside with a gun?
No.
Did you reach for a gun or think about taking a gun or in any way do anything that might suggest you were armed?
No, nothing. I had a T-shirt and track pants on, and as soon as the guy came towards me, I probably had my hands at this height.
How many guns are there on the property? 2
shotguns, both in gun safes.
And licensed?
Yes, bought on my licence. So as I came out here, I was confronted with a policeman, which I didn't know at the time. At no stage did anybody yell out police. They may have yelled out police, but we had a helicopter sitting in the quadrangle here about 6 feet off the ground. The noise and the dust was horrendous, but there was a lot of activity. I could hear things breaking in the main house. I was pushed down, got down on here, and I was handcuffed and getting handcuffed. And I remember looking over and seeing a lot of people running into the nannies area.
Were the people who were running into the nannies area armed?
Yes, yeah. At that stage, everybody I saw had full flak jackets on, sidearms and automatic weapons in front of them.
And so they came into the nannies?
Yes, yes. So this is the nannies area where we have 3 very small children, 4, 3 and about 15 months, and we have 5 nannies. And they live in this area. This is the children's and the nannies area. So they came up here. So the first door that they came to, that was one of the nannies' doors, was this one here. They splintered it. It looks like a kick. It looks like a kick to me. They've come in here. By this time, there was one nanny in here. She'd got out of bed. She was almost hysterical. He had an automatic weapon. He's telling her to get out, and he asked her if she had firearms or bombs. And I've asked her that question twice, bombs, but she said no, they asked for bombs. And maybe that's the thing that Filipino nannies do. But anyway, they got her and dragged everybody out. So on the initial part where I was handcuffed here on the ground by 2 officers, and then I was helped up and taken over here onto the grass. At this stage, there was a white transit police van here. I believe it had dogs in it. They were making a lot of noise. And I was sat down on the grass here beside the van. Beside me were Gino and George, two of the security guards that had been at both gates who'd been grabbed first. Anna, Olive, two Filipino butlers sitting down, everybody handcuffed. Matias, Mona, and we probably stayed in this area maybe for 3/4 of an hour at least, while people were walking around and asking questions and obviously still trying to find Mr. .com. So up here is the private residence. On both sides of the staircase there are several entrances into it, but this is the main one. This is Mrs. .com's private residence here. This is where she sleeps, and where the children will be most of the time and everything with her. So she heard the commotion probably the same time I did and came out and saw a bunch of policemen over here smashing down, trying to smash down her husband's door. Now she said to them, she said, please just knock on the door, he'll open the door or I'll give you the code. They said to her, you need to go downstairs immediately. She went back inside and put her slippers and a robe on and then was taken downstairs. So this area here is Mr. .com's private residence of this house. This is what Mrs. .com heard. They were trying to bash in to get to the boss, and eventually, as you can see, got in. They would have walked in, and the bed was made. This is his day bed where he does most of the work, and as you can see, he either pressed the panic alarm from this area or the other area, which I'll show you as well. So when Mr. .com retired for the day or for the night, depending on what time zone he was on, he would draw this curtain, and it had a glass double glazed door that was keypadded, and they took this out at the same time. So 3 doors were breached at the same time. So you can see where they've it's been cleaned up, obviously. This is the private bathroom. There is another door that leads outside that was breached at the same time, and when I was led up here, there was about 6 officers here. Some of them had sledgehammers. I saw a circular saw, motor-driven circular saw sitting on the floor.
And what were they doing?
This. They thought, I believe they think that Mr. .com was maybe in here, which is a dumb waiter that goes down to the kitchen and is basically for laundry and that, and I don't think, in the 2 years that I've been with this house, I don't think it's ever worked.
So that hole there was made by the police with sledgehammers?
Yeah, sledgehammers. And they've obviously tried here, but at this stage I think they were all standing around fairly frustrated because it was pretty obvious he wasn't hiding in here.
So where was Kim?
He was in this room here, which we call the red room. And the reason will be obvious in a moment when I open the door. So this is the red room, and it's red room because of the red carpet. As you can see, there's a button here. Now, if Mr. .com had pushed this button while the door was shut, we wouldn't be able to open it. It's got a lot of security locks. It's a solid door. It would have taken a long time in a very confined space to get to him.
And they hadn't found him in here yet?
No.
So you were the person who said he's up there. This is where it is. This is where the red room is.
Yes.
Once again, I want to ask you the question. Did you build the red room, or was it in the Crisco mansion when you bought it?
No, this was here. This was here.
So you didn't build this room?
No. No. Again, it's on the plans.
But your procedure was, in the case of an extreme emergency where something like this was going on, where the house was being raided by people with guns, he was to come here and you would look after the family?
Yes.
Wayne, this is a very important question, and I want you to tell me totally the truth.
Mm-hmm.
If 2 men in suits had knocked on the door and presented you with the warrant, instead of all of the guns and all of the kicking down of doors and the sledgehammers and all that kind of stuff, what would you have done?
He would have complied to everything. We would have sat at the large table, he would have probably offered them breakfast, and he would have complied with everything. There is no question.
Would he have done anything to try and destroy the hard drive, to take down MegaUpload, to delete any of the sort of evidence that might be used against him? Would he have done anything along those lines in those circumstances?
Certainly not. Why would he? He'd be destroying his defence. Nothing.
And how long did he have between the police first arriving and the police finally getting in here with your assistance and taking him out? Roughly how long? 35, maybe 35 minutes. So if he had had any kind of doomsday set up, where he could delete his hard drive or take down MegaUpload, would that have been sufficient time for him to do that if that had been his intention?
Within seconds. He could have done that within seconds.
If he had one doomsday button?
Yeah, certainly.
Should we go and have a look upstairs?
Certainly. Okay, this is the red room. This is basically an attic at the top of the house. The gun safe was here.
When the police say, we believe our response was appropriate, is that the evidence that supports that gun safe?
Supposedly, yes.
Do you think it supports that?
No. No. The reason the gun safe was there, because there's two secure areas in this house, as far as I'm concerned. One, my room, which is the secure room, it's never left unlocked. The other one is up here. Very limited people know that this room ever exists. Now, it's an ideal place to have. You could put anything up here. So it was there, it had the key in it. Yes, there was a shotgun in it, but according to the police, he was found by this pillar here, which is, as you can see, is at least 30 feet away from it. He'd never gone near it.
Wayne, what's happening now? Obviously, Kim.com is in Mount Eden remand. Mona's still here, the family's still here, you're still here, full security's still here, the house is still working as much as possible as normal? Yes.
The FBI closed all bank accounts, the MegaUpload bank accounts, including my own in Hong Kong. And then also they stopped the Mega stuff, which was the New Zealand side of the company. So all the contractors, all the staff, no one's got paid. Mrs. .com and the family are basically living on charity at the moment because there is no bank account, there is no money.
So there's no access to any money at all?
None
all bank accounts are frozen?
All bank accounts are frozen.
So people talk about Kim.com being a multi-millionaire, but actually he has no access to any of that money?
None at all.
And none of you do?
No.
What's your assessment of why this was such a big operation?
I think the American government needed to make a stand. I think that Mr. .com was an easy person to go after because of history, and he's flamboyant and he's out there, and I think they did it hard and fast to make a stand worldwide.